Hey everybody, it's Jordan with Warpfire Minis. We got another challenge game. This time we got Skaven versus the Gloomspite Gitz, so let's just jump into it. Alright, so we're jumping into Skaven versus Gitz, and he made me go first, which is what most people do. And this mission was called Ice Fields, so 6 objectives. If you run, you can take D3 mortal wounds. If you charge, you can take D3 mortal wounds, which isn't super fun for like my foot heroes. Normally I'm running those guys around all the time, but with this mission I can't because I can't afford them to die because that's my grand strategy. I will start off going over his list just so you guys know what he's got going on. He's got 2 squads of shooters, which are just he's using his screens here in the front. We've got a Dankhold Trog boss as his general, and that's his grand strategy, is to keep that guy alive. And he's an Alpha Trog, so he's a monster, and he's got the Glowy Howset, which gives him a 4-up ward. So it's just a bad idea to go into him. A 4-up ward, you just never can guarantee that you're going to kill him, no matter how much damage you do. But next to him, we got 6 Rockets. We got a Mangler Squig. Over here, we're proxying these guys as a Goblopalooza. For the shop army, I've got a Gitz army, but it's all troll-based, so I don't have a lot of the goblins. This guy over here is going to be Skragrott. And then we've got a squad of 10 Boingrot Bounders. And for my army, looking at Gitz, the 6 Rockets, those are just super durable, very hard to take down. They're being the light of the bad moon, so that gives them +1 to save. They all out defense for another +1, and they got a 5-up ward on top, just very durable. The 10 Boingrots are probably the most annoying. Just under the light of the bad moon, they can run and charge, and so they just go anywhere they want. Anything in my army that they hit dies, and then even if I get into a good situation where maybe he kills one thing and I kill him back, due to the shrine, they get to bring their units back on a 4-up. Everybody's running the King's Gitz, so they get to re-roll that dice to get 2 chances at bringing the unit back. So I know whatever I kill, it's likely going to come back at half strength. So we'll try and see if we can eventually make a play to get to the shrine. This Gitz player I've played against a lot, and so he has he's screened me out where I can't get back here to my gnaw hole because these guys are going to be within 9 no matter where I put them. Same idea back here. There's no room for Skreech or the Warbringer to get a Skitterleap back here to pop the shrine. So he's doing a good job of screening me out right there. But position-wise, I went ahead and fast-forward to this is my turn. I've already pushed my guys up. The only thing of note, the Help It, he only rolled a 4-inch for his move. I deployed him up as far as I can, hoping to potentially get him into that first line of shooters. And for this mission, it can be very tough to get control of more the first turn because you're so far away. So I was really hoping that he would go up, make a charge into those shooters, kill those guys, and take the objective so we can score max. In the hero phase, I got Dread Death Frenzy off. We get to put it onto the Warbringer, the Help It, and this squad of 10 Plague Censer Bears back here. Then the Plague Censer Bears also got the Rabid-rabid for an extra attack, and they got a Bless, so we got a 6-up ward. We're as buffed as we can be on these guys. So end of the movement phase, the Help It didn't go quite as far as I want. I ended up getting Death Frenzy on these guys, so I'm going to go ahead and put these guys through the gnaw hole, teleport them up by those shooters. We'll try and see if we can make that charge. Start of charge phase, the Gitz player, he's got a squad of Fanatics that's hidden in one of these groups of shooters, and he would go ahead and he pops them out right now. And his idea is that he's going to put these behind his shooters in an attempt where if I charge them now, the Fanatics fight first in combat, so he's going to try and clear out a bunch of my Plague Censer Bears before they get to hit, put more bodies on the objective, and hopefully keep me from taking the objective, or to just discourage my charge at all. So those guys pop out. I know I'm going to need a really big charge. I roll the charge and I get Boxcars 12. So what we do there is we measure it out. I know the Fanatics fight first, but I'm really going to want to try and get out of combat range of them. If I can stay outside of 3 and then pile in, they won't be able to fight me first in combat. So we measure out the 12. They can get me all the way over here. So that's what we're going to do. And so we charge them in. The first model is going to end outside of 3 of the Fanatics. Then we're going to pile in to get them. All right, that ends up being the only charge we make. So it goes to combat. Since they're outside of 3, they don't get to fight first. It goes to me. I pile in my 3 inches. And whenever our Skaven squad has 10 or more models, we get an extra inch to our reach. So I'm going to be able to reach behind and hit these Fanatics and the Stabbas. And since I got all my buffs off, I'm going to be 5 attacks each model. So this is 50 attacks coming in at 3s, Ren 1, 2 damage. These guys have terrible saves. We blow them all up in combat. Best case scenario. So that's the end of combat. I killed both squads. We take that objective, so we're going to score more. My battle tactic that turn was Magical Dominance. That's typically turn 1. You're out of unbind ranges on this mission, so whoever's going first is going to do Magical Dominance. Boom, get it. So score 5. We flip over to Gitz. All right, for Gitz bottom 1, he ends up choosing Moonlight Raid, and he decides he's going to try and take this objective from me, which is a little bit risky because I got a lot of stuff on there right now. But starting out spells, he casts the Fangs of the Bad Moon, does 5 mortal wounds to these Plague Censer Bears. And that's great for him. The Plague Censer Bears, they have Death Frenzy and all the buffs. All of his melee threats, if he decides to charge into them, like, he'll kill my guys, but I'm also going to kill his guys. And my guys are just cheaper, so I'm going to win the trade. So he's trying to do spells, and he's going to try and probably do some shooting to chip away at the PCBs to clear those up. He then hands a Gorks the Rock Guts down towards this objective that he said he was going to take. So he's going to come down here and try and hit a charge and clear a bunch of these Clanrats. So that's pretty much it for spells. We got the teleport off. We go into movement. He ends up just shuffling the goblins down this way. The Mangler moves a million and ends up jumping in front of the Rock Guts. The Dankhold starts creeping over this way towards those Plague Censer Bears. He's something that could go in and kill them all and potentially take the Death Frenzy fight back. Just that 4-up ward. You've always got a chance of living. The 10 Boingrots, he decides he wants to get them away from these Plague Censer Bears for the charge if I get the priority. So he ends up bouncing these guys way over here. And again, he did want to charge them, just he's going to lose all of his Boingrots if he charges those Plague Censer Bears right now. Skragrott runs over here behind him just to stay safe. And then the Gobblepalooza, they end up running up this way, trying to get himself in range where he can buff either the Rock Guts or the Boingrots, depending on what shakes out. We go to the charge phase. The Mangler ends up charging over this way, and he wants to try and stay outside of 3 inches of Skreech, so he doesn't have to worry about the combat, or he doesn't have to worry about me trying to roar him. And we go to the Rock Guts, and they fail their charge, reroll, fail their charge again, so he doesn't make it down here. And he just wasn't thinking about that. I already had Skreech on the objective, so even if the Mangler comes in and kills all of these Clanrats, his 5 is going to match my 5. I'm still going to hold the objective. He really needed that 9-inch charge, but sometimes you just don't hit him. Skip through the combat phase, the Mangler hits and does a ton of damage and kills all of the Clanrats. And so that goes to the end of the turn. He ends up failing his battle tactic since he didn't take this objective. So he only scores 2, just 1 and 2, because he doesn't control more because of the big play I made round 1. I'm looking at this stuff and just like licking my chops over here. Like, I've got, my guys are in Blizzard range, my guys are in the Bubonic Plague range to do 2d6 mortal wounds. Skreech is right here, like that Mangler is just ripe for the taking. So we go to priority roll, we roll it, and he wins the priority, takes the double turn. Then at the end of the Gitz turn, he gets to roll his Loon Shrine, and he gets 10 of those the shooters back that I killed earlier. Alright, so we go into Gitz top of 2. He chooses Led into the Maelstrom. He's going to charge a hero in a battle line this turn. We roll primals, I get a bunch of them. He does cast his spells, and I unbind pretty much everything. And the Gobblepalooza ends up miscasting and kills one of their own models. So we skip ahead to the movement phase. The Rock Guts move down this way towards Skreech. They move 6 inches. And when he does, I end up redeploying Skreech. And I can't go super far, but I get like a 2. So we end up bouncing back a couple inches, just getting away from him to make the charge a little bit longer. The goblins back here end up doing a big run and get over here and get some bodies on the objective as well. The Mangler Sway ends up bouncing away. And I think his theory was like, over here he can kill more Clanrats, but again he would put himself in a position where no matter what I'm collapsing in, I'm casting spells, I'm going to end up killing the Mangler Squig. So he knows with his recursion, he can kind of win a long game. So he ends up bouncing the Mangler back here, just getting ready, like I'm going to hit something, he's going to get ready to counterpunch me. And he does the same theory with these Boingrots over here. He ends up just moving them over here behind the Mangler, getting ready, like the Light of the Bad Moon's going to be everywhere from Skragrott. And so he's going to get ready to run and charge next turn and try and get me. The Gobblepalooza ends up moving up. Again, just trying to keep in buff range where he can get the Rock Guts or the Boingrots, depending. He needs to charge a hero this turn, and since he moved the Mangler back here, he's going to walk this Trog boss over here, use his 4-up ward to try and stay alive. And same idea, since I hit the redeploy on the Rock Guts, he knows that that charge is going to be risky. So he moves these guys up, get them in charge range of these Plague Censer Bears, just in case the Rock Guts fail their charge. He does a little bit of shooting, like with his shooters and the rockets, they can throw some rocks. Like everything's taking a little bit of chip damage, but nothing serious. We go into the charge phase. He's going to try and charge these rockets in. And for Skreech, I had Mystic Shielded him in my turn. I Finest Houred him this turn, so we can probably take the hit. But he rolls the charge, fails, re-rolls the charge, fails. Like, we're living the dream. The 2-inch redeploy was the difference between him making that charge. So, real big swing there for me. So now he has to charge in the Trog Boss for his tactic and those shooters, and he does. So we swap over to combat. The Dankhold swings into the Plague Censer Bearers. They have a 6-up save, which is terrible. This guy's ridden 2, so it's going to go straight through. But the Censer Bearers are also -1 to wound. And so he swings in and just totally whiffs, gets 1 attack through. It's D6 damage. He rolls a 2, kills 1 Plague Censer Bearer. My turn, I pile in. The Censer Bearers over here, they're closest to these shooters, so they have to go that way. We come over, we split the attacks, like so. Do some damage to the Dankhold. He wards off most of it. But we kill these shooters for the second time. This time they're going to stay dead. End of turn, we go for Battle Shock. I end up losing another Plague Censer Bearer to Bad Bravery. And he scores his battle tactic because the Dankhold stayed in combat. But I keep control of more of the objectives, so he's just going to score 4 this turn. So we go down to bottom of 2 for Skaven. I choose Led into the Maelstrom for my battle tactic as well. I've got the Plague Censer Bearers over there. I've got these Clanrats can make a charge. We got all of our heroes are in range to make a charge, so I'll be able to stay in combat with something pretty easily. Hero phase-wise, we end up Skitterleap and Skreech. He, boom, pops out of here. And this is because he left the Loon Shrine open now, since those shooters died. So we teleport Skreech way back here. We're going to try and break the shrine this turn. If I can get that off, that's going to stop the recursion for his whole army on the bringing the units back to life. And so anytime I can get an opportunity to smash the Loon Shrine, we go for it. Now that Skreech is over here, we end up casting his War Scroll spell, the Dreaded 13th. And he ends up shooting into Skragrott. We deal a few mortal wounds, but we did cause 5 of them, so I get to summon in 5 free Clanrats. Skreech won't be able to make a charge this turn, so I just put them over here to build a little screen in front of Skreech, outside of 9 of those guys. And that's just in case if the Dankhold just turns around, he can't just pop the Warbringer back in the mouth. And then if I get the priority, I can push those guys up onto the objective and take it away from Skragrott. Then we just jump into movement. The Warbringer's going to move up here towards the middle. And having 12-inch movement on one of your heroes, for Skaven specifically, we've got to score those book tactics. And so being able to move 12 puts me in a position where I can always charge a hero like pretty reliably. The Clanrats, we move over this way. We move the Clanrats over here just for set up a charge, because I got to charge a battle line unit as well. I'll end up deep striking in my PCBs, but I don't want to rely on that 9-inch charge to hit. We go over to my little heroes. We move this guy down here by the knot hole. Purple guy, we're just trying to spread out a little bit to get out of danger. These 2 guys scoot over this way, just getting away from the rockets. Help it, we run him, and we roll really low on his movement again. I want to just get more bodies up on this objective, since it's one that he can realistically take. But we end up failing to get on the objective at all with the run. And then the PCBs, I got very lucky last turn, not losing a lot. So I end up just retreating them out this turn. I'm going to make sure I take this objective. And I'm set up where if I can get the double back, like we should be able to just end it. The Dankhold doesn't do that much damage, so I'm just not scared of that position. We switch over to the end of the movement phase. And since I'm in a position where I can potentially double turn, I'm going to go ahead and deep strike in these PCBs. That gives me a chance. I got my 3 chances at the charge, then another chance at priority where we can make it happen. And then we also jump this Seer through the knot hole, pop him out over here. And I got the drill on the objective here, Seer on the objective, just so he can't hand a Gork and just take a free objective from me. And then the PCBs, I put them here in the middle to try and make a play on these Gobblepalooza. I could have went in the very back, try and hit into the Boingrots. I could have went into the rockets here, but putting them in the middle of the board is going to give me range where if I do hit the charge, I kill stuff. If I don't, I'm going to be able to get into something good no matter what. So we go into the charge phase, and first charge roll, I end up getting like a 9 or a 10, which is excellent. That means the Plague Censer Bearers are going in. The Plague Censer Bearers, they go in there into the Gobblepalooza. And then for the Warbringer, I'm going to charge him down way down here, since we rolled a big charge. And I'm going to stay outside of 3 inches of these Boingrots. And the theory is going to be, I'm going to fight with these Plague Censer Bearers first, clear the Gobblepalooza, then Warbringer's going to be able to just pile into these Boingrots. And no matter what, I'm going to be able to pile in. With the 3 claw steps, I can pile in twice. So like, even if I got a smaller charge roll, I activate the Plague Censer Bearers first. They pile in. He piles in. Then I fight, kill those guys or not kill those guys, and then he piles in again. But 10 Plague Censer Bears versus Gobblepalooza, that's a fight I win every time. Then I made the charge with the PCB, so that's my battle line requirement for my tactic. But I'm likely going to kill those guys. I'm likely going to kill the Boingrats, so I still need to have someone end the turn in combat. So these Clanrats here, I use the charge roll when we go in. And I end a ½ inch away from this most far away goblin as I possibly can. And everybody else, we're not getting in combat at all. And we're doing that there. The rock guts are now going to be within 3, which is what I want, because I don't want them to be able to turn around now that I've got the Warbringer down here. If I kill these Boingrats, I got to tussle with the Mangler a little bit, but I don't want these rock guts to just turn around and crush me. So by getting them within 3, they're not going to be able to do 20 damage between the 2 or 3 of them that are going to make it in combat. So we're going to end up scoring our tactic here and tying these rock guts up for the next turn, which is excellent. End of charge, we do our Monstrous Rampages. I just hit a roar on the Gobblepalooza, and we go to break the shrine. It's a 3-up. Skreech fails to break the shrine. So now if I want to continue to try to break the shrine, even if I get the double, I got to leave him there to do it. But again, it's probably worth it. So bummer. But we go into combat. We do pile in the Plague Censer Bearers first. They pile in, and they obliterate the Gobblepalooza. Then now that the Warbringer's free, he piles in and kills Boingrats. It's important to note the Warbringer, he's got the Devious Adversary command trait, which gives him an extra 2 attacks if he's fighting something that hasn't fought. He's got the Warpstone charm to give him an extra rend, so all of his attacks are rend 3. Then he has a command ability that gives him +1 to hit and +1 to wound. So on average, this dude's doing like 26 damage or more. So into these Boingrats, that's 20 wounds on a 4-up, but he just does it no problem. So like that was the best case scenario for me. That's exactly what I wanted, and we got it. For him, a couple of the rock guts end up making it in. They hit the Clanrats and they kill, I don't know, 10 of them or so, but not enough of them to where I'm going to fail my tactic. So I end up taking some casualties off the back because we want to keep them in combat. So we go to Battle Shock. I auto-pass the Clanrats, get a couple of them back at the end, and then we go to scoring. I get my battle tactic here, and I hold 1-2 more. The Warbringer, I had towed him onto that objective with pile-in back there with Skragrott. So he's 5, outnumbers him. We hold more objectives. Big priority roll. I end up winning the priority roll, so we're going to take the Skaven double turn. So top of 3, I end up choosing Surround and Destroy for my battle tactic. I already have this guy, he's going to run up. This Grey Seer can run back. One of the Plague Priests can go over here to the Gnawhole and pop out way back in the corner. So we'll get our 3 edges, no problem. And we go to casting. I fail most of my casts again, but we get Flaming Weapon off on the Warbringer. Looking at the turn, I've got some options as far as what I could do. I could turn around, try and make a play on the Rock Guts with the Plague Censer Bears. But again, that's a risky play. I might kill 2 or 3 and then I'm going to die back. I could send the Warbringer just straight into the Mangler to kill him, try and take some power away. Or I've got the Plague Censer Bears and the Hell Pit, could try and make a play onto the Dankhold. But that 4-up ward is just always scary. You could do 50 damage to him and then he rolls enough 4s and he stays alive. But that's his grand strategy. That's what's going to help him score points. I'm already up a couple points now. So in my mind, if I can stop his grand strategy right now, he just doesn't have enough stuff to control objectives and score high for the rest of the turns. And he's going to have a hard time denying my grand strategy. Plus, I still have Skreech back there who should break the Loon Shrine. And even if he doesn't break it this turn, at the end of my opponent's charge phase next turn, he's going to have another attempt. So I have 2 more chances at a 3-up to stop all of his recursion, which would be the only thing that could really bring him back in the game at this point. So we end up just hard committing this way. We're going to charge the Warbringer in. We're going to charge these Plague Censer Bearers in. We're going to charge these Plague Censer Bearers in. And then just for extra credit, we send the Hell Pit in too. And this is like over-exaggerating. I don't necessarily need to commit all of these resources to killing him. But again, like, I'm up points. I need to take the safe play. Like, if I can finish this guy off, that's pretty much going to be the game. So we're just going to overcommit, make sure we make that happen. Because the Rock Guts are too slow. They're going to be over here with Clanrats. They're not going to be able to make it back. The only thing that's going to be jumping around that's a threat is the Mangler Squig, and he just can't do enough for over the whole course of the game. So we send everybody in. We hit a charge. Everybody makes it in. Then before all the charges, we retreat the Clanrats out. There's no sense in us just staying and losing a fight to the Rock Guts. We do move our heroes down to score our tactics. So this guy runs down here. He moves over here. This guy goes up that way. This guy jumps through the hole. Pops out in the corner. But we go to combat. I hit the roar. The Warbringer fights, and just the Warbringer alone kills the guy by himself. So we pick him up. Skreech ended up rolling to break the shrine. We got it. These little Clanrats, they just ran up on this objective to have more bodies on. And that ends up being the game. And so that's a game right there where Skaven were just kind of firing on all cylinders. So we hit that 9-inch PCB charge to get into Gobapalooza, piled into those Boingrots, and that's just a massive swing. And then for my list specifically, anytime I'm going second in the round, if I make a pretty aggressive play, it really sets me up for just a devastating double turn. And so in this case, like I got the Boingrots, I got the Gobapalooza, and then I dropped the Dankhold to stop his Grand Strat with that double. And being up a couple points, it just put it to where it just wasn't in striking distance anymore. And so we played the game out to 5, and the final score ended up being like 26-20, something along those lines. So we'll chalk another one up for Skaven, and if you guys ever need any models, check us out at warpfireminis.com. Thanks for watching.